Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Wisconsin.
Beautiful summer day. We move into a beautiful evening for baseball in St. Louis, Missouri. Middle game of this weekend series, the Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals. Good start for the crew to this weekend, getting a win last night. There you see the tightly bunched National League Central Division standings. Brewers lead the Pirates by 2.5 games, now up 3 on St. Louis, while the Reds are 5.5 back as the battle continues here in Busch Stadium in St. Louis tonight. Good evening. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay, filling in for Brian Anderson for the rest of the weekend. BA will be back for the homestand starting next week. Telly Hughes, our reporter tonight. Well, Rock, we've talked about it in the pregame. This is an against-the-grain team. It was just struggling in the worst way offensively. The script would suggest that with Price and Wainwright coming up, the Brewers, it could spiral out of control. Well, the exact opposite happened. The offense came back a lot.
Well, the offense, for the Brewers has been hot and cold, just like offense has been all around baseball. I think the surprising thing, though, is the fact the Brewers weren't scoring runs, and they were due. This is a very good offensive ball club. You figured that the Rays were looking for a sweep down in St. Petersburg, but the Brewers able to get to David Price, and it was all about Martin Maldonado. Maldonado with a big day, 3 hits, 4 RBIs, everybody contributing. This is what the Brewer offense has been doing, and last night, Adam Wainwright certainly didn't have his best stuff. Everybody knows that, but the Brewers able to take advantage. Aramis Ramirez with a big home run. The Brewers coming up with big hits. Jonathan Lucroy able to put the game away on a double down the line with the bases loaded. So what you're seeing from this Brewer offense is what all around baseball you're seeing, hot and streaky offense, but still the Brewers are second best offense in all the National League.
And we have another interesting matchup tonight. Telly Hughes will take a closer look. Kyle Osh will go for the Brewers. Justin Masterson making his Cardinals debut. We'll hear more on the matchup from Telly as we continue on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, now in the original can. It's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Last night, the Brewer bats went bashing at Busch Stadium to snatch the series opener, and the Crew will take a swing at consecutive wins over the Cardinals. Welcome back to St. Louis. I'm Telly Hughes. The Brewers' last 2 wins have been pretty impressive, coming over 2 top-tier all-star pitchers in David Price and Adam Wainwright. Tonight, the Crew will face a former all-star in Justin Masterson, who is making his Cardinals debut. The Brew Crew will counter with Kyle Loesch, and both managers are pretty skeptical about this being a potential pitcher's duel.
But I would have thought last night would have too. So I don't see these things as well as maybe as well as I should, or when I think we're going to do well offensively, sometimes we do nothing, and when I think we're going to have a tough night, sometimes we come out and hit the ball real well. So it's just too hard to predict.
You know, we always have that potential to come out and have an explosive offensive day, and what it is that triggers that, you haven't really been able to narrow it down because we've seen it against some of the best pitchers in the league. Kyle's having a nice year, and we've been able to throw some runs on some guys who are having nice years. So, you know, we just got to go out and stay with a good approach out there, at bat by at bat, not trying to do too much. You know, making sure we understand what our strengths are, and hopefully Masterson gives us a chance to stay close.
Coming up, Kyle Loesch looks to pick up his 3rd win in his last 4 starts. Marnie and Jerry will be back with more on Loesch from our Fox Sports Wisconsin studios after the break.
that one around deep left center field. That is way back, and it's gone. And Lucroy drives one to right. Tavares cannot get there. It's down. It gets by him all the way to the wall. Segura, Herrera, Gomez all score.
Most earned runs ever allowed to the Brewers from last night's starter for the Cardinals, Adam Wainwright. Brewers taking advantage and route to the series opening win last night. This has been all about the road team when these two teams have matched up this season. Ron Renneke would like to keep it that way, as it's been 2 out of 3 for the road team in each of the series so far. Good start for the Crew with the 7-4 victory last night. And here's the Brewers batting order tonight, brought to you by Associated Bank. Carlos Gomez will lead off per usual. Gerardo Parra will make his starting debut for the Brewers, followed by Ryan Braun. Ramirez, Lucroy, and Overbay in the middle. Scooter Gennett back in the lineup tonight, followed by Gene Segura and Kyle Loesch. They'll be facing Justin Masterson, making his Cardinals debut.
Yeah, with the end, you can see what he has been able to do. 19 starts. He was on the disabled list with a right knee problem. He was on the DL dating back to July 7th, made his last start against the Yankees. A sinker slider pitcher, making his first start as a St. Louis Cardinal.
And Carlos Gomez will lead things off. We are underway in St. Louis. Something to keep in mind with Gomez, he was hit by a pitch in last night's game. In each of the last 4 meetings against the Cardinals, he's been hit by a pitch. There's a ground ball to Peralta at short. And Gomez is retired, the first out of the night.
Well, let's check out the Cardinals defense, brought to you by Menards tonight. Emphasis on the infield. Masterson throws a lot of ground ball outs. Carpenter, Peralta, Wong, and Adams from third to first. Tony Cruz behind home plate. It was A.J. Pierzynski last night. Cardinals have been very good defensively. Second fewest errors in all the National League so far this year.
We'll take a look at Tony Cruz behind the plate, as now Gerardo Parra steps in. He made his Brewer debut last night. This is his first start, of course, with the new club. Came in the 7th inning, a defensive replacement for Chris Davis. Had an at-bat, struck out in his only plate appearance last evening. As you take a look at his numbers, and you're looking at a 2-time Gold Glove winner and someone who can get on base. The average for him is lower than what he's used to at 258 coming in, but he's right. He can get you in that 270 range or so.
Yeah, usually a pretty good hitter, to make contact. Puts the bat on the baseball. Very good defensively. Ron Renneke throwing him in the lineup today. Tough right-hander on the mound with that sinker going away from lefties. And Chris Davis a little bit banged up with a calf situation.
Yeah, came out last night with a little tightness in his left calf. Parra getting the start for matchup purposes. Ron Renneke saying before the game, as Gerardo Parra fouls it off. Count a ball, 2 strikes.
Plus, you want to get him in the lineup as soon as you can. You bring him over here. You don't want to have him on the bench too long. Davis is available to hit as the game goes on.
Masterson with the 1-2, and Parra lobs this one foul down the line. Just getting started here at Busch Stadium. Another big crowd here in St. Louis. As this National League Central Division race continues, as does the at-bat. This Parra hanging tough against Justin Masterson.
Man, Masterson's a guy that will walk you. I mean, he's got 56 walks in those 19 starts in the American League. That's his second most walks in the AL. And consider he was on the DL for a couple of weeks. He's always been a guy that walks a lot of hitters. Got to be patient.
Masterson, when he's right, is all-star good, which was the case a year ago with the Indians. And this year, the injury obviously has been a factor, but it's been a disappointing season to date. And the Cardinals are hopeful. They obviously had a need in that starting rotation with injuries hitting Mike Matheny's group, but maybe a change of scenery could be a big help for Masterson as well. Again, the 1-2 to Parra. Count evens, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Masterson 14-10 last year with the Indians and a .345 earned run average. Didn't give up too many home runs. 13 homers last year. Not afraid to come inside either. He'll hit some batters. He led the American League at hit batters last year with 17.
And he has plunked 11 so far this season. A full count now to Parra. As you look at Ryan Braun on deck. Here's the 3-2. And we talked about this can be an issue with Masterson as the Brewers and specifically Parra patient at the plate, able to work him for a walk.
And patience really not the strong suit of this Brewers lineup normally, but Gerardo Parra, after falling behind in the count quickly, able to work his walk. And talking to Johnny Nairn with that big sink on his fastball, you got to make sure that pitch starts up in the strike zone early in the count. Starts around the knees, it's going to sink down and out of the strike zone.
The 10-pitch at bat that Gerardo Parra was able to work Masterson for the walk. And here's Ryan Braun, who snapped out of a little skid last night. He was 0 for 19 going into last night's game, but had a couple of hits. Drove in a pair of runs as he takes a strike.
Yeah, hitless in Tampa Bay, but he hit a lot of baseballs right on the nose. Ryan didn't feel as though he was scuffling at the plate, just wasn't getting any hits. He was hitting the baseball hard, nothing to show for it.
But last night he was rewarded. As the Brewers missed a couple of early opportunities. They grabbed an early lead, but missed a couple of chances early to bust the game open, and then they finally did in the 6th on that three-run double from Jonathan Lucroy, and ended up hanging 4 on the board in that 6th inning en route to running Wainwright out of the game unusually early.
Yeah, Brewers had the bases loaded in the 2nd inning and again in the 5th until Lucroy able to cash in with the bases loaded in the 6th. A lot of base runners against Wainwright. That's not usual.
0-2 to Braun as he just does get a piece and hangs in there. Ryan hitting .289 coming into the game with 14 homers. He has driven in 63. Remains among the league leaders in triples with 6. Brewers begin the night 2.5 games ahead of the Pirates in the Central, 3 full games ahead of St. Louis. These teams will wrap up the series, the Brewers and the Cardinals, tomorrow afternoon. Braun strikes out swinging. Out number 2 here in the 1st.
Wainwright got him the first 2 times up on sinkers. Pitches in on him until Braun back-to-back doubles and then a walk in his last at bat. Masterson likes to establish that 2-seam fastball in on the corner.
Masterson will be facing Aramis Ramirez, who was 3 for 5 last night. Parra the runner at first with 2 outs here in the top of the 1st. Take a look at last night off of Adam Wainwright as Aramis able to turn on one. Powerball home run count number 13 on the year. At the top of the fence and kicked over.
Yeah, that was a 3-0 pitch from Wainwright to lead off the 2nd inning. And the Brewers on the board early.
Aramis 7 of his last 15 over the last 4 games.
Parra's a guy that will run. I mean, he will, gets a pretty good jump, decent speed, good base runner. So not only do you get pretty good defense, you get some good speed out there on the bases.
And he is on the move. Parra is. Pitch swung on and missed. Throw down to second. Not in time. So Parra steals second. 2 strikes and nothing to Ramirez. But on cue, Rock, as Parra picks his spots, but very capable of running. And Brewers now with a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, he's going to be valuable for this Brewers offense. Late inning lefty off the bench. You can pinch run him. You can steal you a base. And has very good instincts out there on the bases as well.
Oh, 0-2 to Ramirez. Hit down the line, and that is a fair ball. It hits off the side wall. Parra will score. RBI not for Ramirez as the Brewers take an early lead.
He's just been on a roll right now, driving in runs. Ramos Ramirez doing exactly what Johnny Narin was saying before the game. Make him get his pitches up in the strike zone. He's trying to bust them inside, trying to backdoor a front door slider. And Ramirez able to tuck it inside the third baseline for an early lead. So the Brewers jump out on top again here tonight. Right down that third baseline, out of the reach of Carpenter. And because Parra was able to steal a base, he's able to score.
So the Brewers get the first run of the night. And here's Jonathan Lucroy.
It's a good way to start with your new club, right? A walk, a stolen base, score a run. Get the high fivers early in that dugout.
A great way to start. Now let's see what Lucroy can do. Bases loaded double last night in the 6th. Checks in with a .308 batting average. Still 5th best in the National League.
Man, actually hit the best pitch Wainwright threw in that at bat. I mean, Wainwright made some mistakes. A long at bat. Lucroy fouled off some pitches that he thought he should have hit somewhere, but you know, on the last pitch, a fastball down and away, just stuck the bat out there and ripped it down the right field line. What an at bat. Turned out the Brewers needed every one of those runs last night.
Ramirez the runner at first. 0-2 the count to Jonathan Lucroy. And that scoots him back inside with the fastball. Be interesting to watch Masterson tonight. We've talked about it. He's coming off the DL. It's a tender knee. He can have control issues. The velocity isn't what it once was, at least to date this season.
88 to about 92. Nothing overpowering, and basically 2 pitches.
A ball, 2 strikes to Lucroy. Again, another check of Ramirez.
Must think Ramey's going to run. I don't think so.
3 steals for him this year. But no, not top of mind when you're thinking base stealing threats. Lucroy rolls one to second. Colton Wong will take care of it, and that's it for the Brewers in the first. But a good start for the Crew as Aramis Ramirez drills one down the line, and that scores Gerardo Parra. And the Brewers are first on the board here at Busch Stadium. And now the Cardinals will get their first at bat. Mike Matheny trying to get his team to even this weekend series after the Brewers took game 1 last evening. The 4-time Gold Glover, of course, the former Brewer. And here's Buffini's batting order tonight brought to you by Associated Bank. Matt Carpenter, Colton Wong, and Matt Holliday at the top. In the middle, Matt Adams, Johnny Peralta, and Oscar Taveras, Borges, Cruz, and Masterson, 7, 8, and 9. And on the mound for the Brewers will be Kyle Loesch.
Yeah, Kyle Loesch coming off a tough luck loss against the Rays his last time out. Gave up only 2 runs in 6 innings and lost the ball game 2-1. Coming off a good month of July. Although he's only 2-3 at a 3.03 earned run average, allowed only 11 earned runs the entire month. That covered 32 2/3 innings, making start number 11 against his old ball club.
3-5 against St. Louis, against that former club, as he starts off with Matt Carpenter here in the bottom half of inning number 1. Carpenter with a couple of hits and drove in 3 as St. Louis tried to mount a rally late in the ball game last night, but the Brewers able to hold them off. There's a fly ball to left and an early opportunity for Parra. He'll handle it, and that's out number 1.
Well, let's check out the Brewers defense brought to you by Menards tonight. Gerardo Parra gets his first start with the Brewers here tonight and have already had an impact on the bases. Gomez and Braun in center and right. Ramirez, Segura making some great plays again in last night's ball game. Good to have Jeanette back at second base, Overbay at first, and Jonathan back behind home plate.
Now you're right. Parra has had an impact as the Cardinals without Yadier Molina behind the plate. Not nearly as efficient at throwing out base runners. And Parra able to work a walk, stole second, and scored on the Ramirez single. And here's a fly ball off the bat of Colton Wong. Back goes Gomez at the wall, and it's gone. Colton Wong over the last month has become a home run threat. That's his 7th of the year and 6th since July 6th. We're tied at 1.
And his 3rd against the Brewers this year. He is swinging the bat well. He's been very good against Kyle Loesch, now 3 for 4 career against Kyle. And not a guy you would expect to put a charge into one like that. Fastball out over the plate. Put a good swing on it. And knocks it out of here. Out of here to center field in the first row.
And just like that, we are tied at 1. There's Matt Holliday. Holliday with 11 home runs on the year, and he's had 5 since the All-Star break. He covers 12 games.
And he's been swinging the bat well against the Brewers this year. Home run power. Average is down for him. First home run that Kyle Loesch has given up in 4 starts.
Yeah, gave up a couple against the Phillies back on July 9th. But had been clean since until a moment ago. 0-2 to Matt Holliday. He gets him on strikes. Out number 2 here in the first.
We saw some baseballs flying out of here in batting practice today. The heat was back today. A little cool last night. The rains came in, wind blowing out. The hot temperatures, which means that we might have an interesting ball game here tonight.
Yeah, we could. Ron Renicky was asked, and Telly Hughes talked about it in Brewers Live pregame. You think this could be a pitching duel? And Renicky saying, I never have any idea, never have a feel for that. When you think, he admits to not being very good at trying to anticipate such outings. When you think you've got a real big-time pitching matchup coming up, you get an 8-7 game.
Tough to predict.
Yeah, very, very much so. There's Matt Adams.
Comes down to that guy out on the mound. Is he going to have a good day or isn't he? Willie Peralta had a good night. Wainwright did not last night.
A 1-1 to Adams. 311 batting average coming in. 2 of the top 5 in batting average in this series here with Adams and Lucroy. A tapper over the mound. Segura guns it over to first, standing over. Brewers had the shift, and it pays off. And that's it for the Cardinals, but they pick up a run, and we are through 1. 1-1 to score.
On a piece here in the top of the second inning. Both teams pretty much mirror each other in terms of offense. Both Ron Renicky as well as Mike Matheny both said that their teams have been so up and down. They're just so unsure about what they're going to get each and every night, because you look at what the Brewers have been able to do against David Price, putting 4 runs against him, and last night Adam Wainwright tagging him for 7 runs, 2 of the top tier pitchers in all of baseball. But it's the other guys that they worry about, and just trying to find that consistency. Yes, the Brewers are second in the National League in runs, but they came in bunches, so we'll see if the Brewers can sustain some consistency the rest of the way.
All right, Telly, both teams off to a good start offensively tonight. A Colton Wong solo homer for the Cardinals. The Brewers getting a run-scoring single from Aramis Ramirez in the top half of the inning, and now we move to the second as Lyle Overbay leads things off.
That's kind of been the way of the Cardinals over the years. It's all about been pitching and defense. I mean, they have a great starting rotation. At least they have when they're healthy. Bullpen's always been pretty good. Every team in baseball complaining about inconsistent offense.
Well, the Cardinals last year were so good offensively. They were not a home run hitting team last year, but they led the league in runs scored, and by a fairly wide margin. Is Overbay able to work Masterson for a walk here to begin the second?
Hitting with runners in scoring position last year for the Cardinals, it was incredibly good, historically good as a ball club, about 320. They're not doing that this year. I don't think anybody expected them to be able to do that this year. Can't do that, you know, once in a lifetime's enough.
Scooter Gennett back in the lineup tonight. Had to miss last night's game. A left index finger contusion. Had to get in some early work, specifically on bunting when he injured the finger, and had last night off, and he's back in there tonight for the Crew.
Well, it's his glove hand and his bottom hand. It's better than the right hand, actually, because that's his throwing hand, and the top hand is what takes over when you finish your swing. That would be more difficult.
Saw Gennett fares well against the Cardinals, 384 in his young career. Tapper fouled first. Gennett coming in at 302 this season. With 8 homers, he has driven in 35.
Surprising power when he has the count in his favor. Likes the ball down and in. You give him one there, he's going to put a charge into it.
2 balls, 1 strike to the Brewers' second baseman.
You just got to wonder how long Masterson's going to be out there tonight. I mean, he's been on the disabled list since July 7th, made a couple of rehab appearances. Didn't fare all that well down in the minor leagues, so you figure there's a pretty strict pitch count on him tonight. Figure maybe 80, 85 pitches perhaps.
Chopper over the mound. Wong is there. Flips to Peralta, 1 on to first, and that's a double play. 4-6-3. 2 outs here in the second.
And you got to wonder if he's going to be all right. Remember that quad injury for Gennett. Ordinarily, he might be able to beat that out, but still feeling the effects of that quadricep strain. And then he gets hit on the hand with a baseball trying to bunt. He's a little bit banged up right now. I wonder if he's all right.
Two outs here in the second inning as Gene Segura steps in. Segura with a couple of hits in last night's game. Segura, along with Ryan Braun, among the leaders in triples. Mentioned Braun has 6. Likewise this year for Segura. There's a bouncer to Colton Wong. And the inning is over here for the Brewers in the second. A leadoff walk, but nothing after that. Move to the bottom of the second, tied in St. Louis. Is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. Move to the bottom of the second. A beautiful night here in St. Louis. Middle game of this weekend series, the Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals. Kyle Loesch ready for his second inning of work. He'll face Johnny Peralta, Oscar Taveras, and Peter Borges here in inning number 2. Loesch giving up a first inning solo homer to Colton Wong. Starts Peralta with a curve that misses for ball 1. Peralta has given this St. Louis team some pretty solid play. Pretty good at short. This is a team that annually has a new shortstop. He was the 8th opening day shortstop in as many years for this club. And he turns on one here. This is deep to left, and Parra can only watch it. 2-1 St. Louis. Number 15 on the year for Johnny Peralta.
And just getting ready to say, he provides some pretty good pop in that bat as a shortstop. And Kyle Loesch has given up a couple of solo shots in the first couple of innings. Mentioned he went 3 consecutive starts before tonight without allowing a home run. And Peralta getting a fastball middle in, belt high, and did not miss it. With the Cardinals banging out some home runs tonight.
Here's Oscar Taveras, who gets, you would think, a genuine extended opportunity here with the big club after the Cardinals making their trades earlier this week. Specifically, Alan Craig moving on, and now Taveras, figured to be the everyday right fielder as he rolls a ground ball to first, and Overbay will handle it for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, they basically made way for him, trading Alan Craig. A little bit of pressure on the young man. Hey, get your tickets today for the Brewers series with the San Francisco Giants as Tuesday, August 5th through Thursday the 7th, as the Brewers look to defend their or continue their postseason push against the playoff contenders from the Bay Area. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com.
Yeah, first look at those two teams. We mentioned the Giants and then the Dodgers coming in. Home and homes with those two clubs battling it out in the West. So, as has been pretty well documented, a very beefy schedule here for the Crew from now till the end of September.
Some good pitching coming into Miller Park.
Oh.
Is that an understatement?
Yeah, that would be an understatement.
I knew you were trying to. I knew you were going to correct me a little bit. I guess I should have corrected myself.
No, that's all good. Peter Borges with a fly to right. Ryan Braun handles it. 2 men out.
That's right. It happens a lot up here. Don't feel bad about it. Mostly deserved.
Just kind of the way it's worked in baseball this year, though. It just seems one night after the other, one day after the other. Whenever your game is scheduled, you're up against somebody. Now, obviously, some you've heard more than others, but the Brewers last week ran into some very good pitching. Not necessarily household names to the extent of a Wainwright or Smarja when he was with the Cubs, so on and so forth, but very effective pitching. Tony Cruz taking strike 1.
Make it John Lackey tomorrow, then back on the homestand against the Giant. Lincecum, Vogelsong, and Peavy.
And then the Dodgers come in.
Right.
One and 1 to Cruz. So he gets the start tonight. A.J. Przinsky got the call last night. Curve missing. 2-1 the count. Cardinals team now for, this is game 17 without Yadier Molina. That thumb injury that he suffered.
Got to wonder if the Brewers would have gotten that run in the first inning had Molina been back behind home plate. They just don't run on that guy.
As you see Przinsky there, as they get obviously a very experienced player, possessor of a World Series ring, guy who hits above 280 in his career, but Molina is about 50-50 throwing out base runners.
Yeah. And Przinsky brings a bit of an edge to him. I think something that the Cardinals were looking for.
3-2 to Cruz, and he draws the walk. 2-out base runner for St. Louis. Well, Jonathan Lucroy will have a quick visit with his pitcher. Kyle has given up a couple of homers here to start this game. In the first to Colton Wong, and then in the second to lead off the inning off the bat of Johnny Peralta.
Yeah, having a difficult time locating his fastball in the first couple of innings. And both home runs on fastballs, both of them out over the plate.
Justin Masterson gets an at bat, and he takes a strike. He has had a total of 22 at bats in his career. 0-2 the count. 3 hits.
He's a big man, 6'6", 250 pounds. Gets a hold of one, I would imagine you could put a pretty good charge into it.
Loesch ready with the 0-2. And that's a base hit to right. Cruz will hold at second. And Justin Masterson with a 2-out single.
Hey, he likes the National League.
Yeah, he does.
I've just been all my life. Started his career with the Red Sox. Went to Cleveland. Said he doesn't need a jacket. That's a decision you don't have to make in the American League too often.
No.
Interleague play is all. And Kyle hung a slider to him, and he slapped it out into right field.
So the lineup turns over now. Matt Carpenter steps in. The fly ball to left in the first. 2-1 Cardinals, and they're looking for more. Kyle Loesch trying to get out of some more trouble. Missing with a curve. Cardinals with 3 hits here. Carpenter with a .287 batting average.
And just a good solid hitter. No real one way to pitch. You got to mix it up on him, and put a charge into one last night in the 9th inning off of Zach Duke, down and in. Golfed it out into the gap, driving in a couple of runs. You pitch him away, you work him away, you better get it down in the strike zone. Don't just slap it out into left field. Not too, the base runners, not all that fast out on the bases.
Cruz at second, the catcher, and the pitcher Masterson at first. Now 2-1 the count to Matt Carpenter. And that missed away. 3-1. Mentioned St. Louis last year led the National League in runs scored. Only the Padres this year score fewer than St. Louis. Cardinals down more than a run a game on average. 4.8 a game last year, not quite 3.7 this year. Now the bases are loaded. Second walk of the inning issued by Loesch.
And Colton Wong coming up. The guy has hit Kyle Loesch very well this year. He's 3 for 4 with a home run now. He's not able to locate his fastball yet. And missing off the corner, so because he's not trying not to get too much of the plate. Because every time it seems like he does, Cardinals are hitting it out of the ballpark. So he's trying to hit the corners, missing in, and he's already walked a couple of batters.
And thus a meeting on the mound is pitching coach Rick Kranitz and others.
Yeah, Kyle had 6 walks in 5 starts in the month of July. That's it.
back to last night when Willie Peralta walked 3 in the first inning, but was able to get out of it, getting A.J. Pierzynski to pop up. New night, new matchup now. Kyle Loesch and Colton Wong. Bases loaded with 2 outs in the second. And that's in there, a strike on a hook. Foul tip and low shot in front, 0-2.
Somebody hack right there. First pitch curveball, then back to the fastball, and Wong underneath the heater. And a pretty good hack, just a little bit behind it.
Yeah, that's a swing of someone looking for his second career grand slam. 2 strikes and nothing to the Cardinals' second baseman. To right field, and that's going to fall. And it will score 2. The throw goes to third. Everybody's safe. 2-run single for Colton Wong, scoring Cruz and Masterson, and it's 4-1 Cardinals.
Yeah, the killer was the base hit by the pitcher, Masterson, dumping one into right, walked and base hit. Colton Wong with 3 RBIs. So he had a breaking pitch, a slider that just wasn't able to get down and in. He left it up, and Wong jammed himself, but able to dump it in front of Braun in right. So 4 consecutive base runners for the Cardinals after 2 are out.
Yeah, Peralta started the inning with a home run, and then Loesch able to get Taveras and Borges, and then St. Louis has been rolling since. The dangerous Matt Holliday, who struck out in the first.
Yeah, now you get to the tough part of the batting order.
They do.
You let the bottom of this order, do damage, get on base. You're asking for a lot of trouble.
Two balls, no strikes to Holliday. Colton Wong with a 2-run single. Runners at the corners. A strike from Kyle Loesch. Big Matt Adams on deck. A rocky start for Kyle Loesch. Let's see if he can recover. And that's ripped to left field, a base hit. Carpenter scores. 5-1 St. Louis. Throw into third. It gets by Ramirez. And now breaking for the plate is Wong, and he is in.
Well, Holliday hit it hard. We talked about the throwing arm of Gerardo Parra. He's got a good arm. Trying to get Wong going into third base. Here's the throw off the mark, not even close. Almost hits the third base coach. That'll be an E7 to allow Wong to score, and the Cardinals put up a 5 spot in the second inning.
Something you won't see from the 2-time Gold Glover Gerardo Parra. A base hit, an RBI, and an error charge to Parra. So Holliday, the runner at second, now 6-1 St. Louis, as the last 5 hitters have reached. Adams rips one to right, and right at Ryan Braun, and the inning finally comes to an end, but 9 men come to the plate for St. Louis as it scores 5, 6-1 Cardinals. 5 times in the second inning. Fox Sports Supports is proud to collaborate with Stand Up to Cancer, a groundbreaking initiative created to accelerate innovative cancer research that gets new therapies to patients quickly in order to save lives now. For more information, visit foxsportssupports.com. Well, the newest Cardinal is staked an early 5-run lead. Brewers scored a run in the top of the first, but it's been all birds since then.
And a key component in that rally. Yeah, the Cardinals pitcher
got a base hit and scored the first run of his big league career. Kyle Loesch will lead off here in the top half of the third. One and one the count to Loesch. It's 4 RBIs, a couple of them right here. Game late April. No decision in the game, but it was a come from behind extra innings victory for the Brewers. Loesch had a 2-run single.
Man, a little flare into right field. Doesn't matter how they look, but they look like line drives in the box score.
Here's the 1-2.
People read the box scores anymore?
I think so.
I think
so, yeah. I think so.
You get so many highlight shows and you get it on your phone.
Loesch with a tapper foul.
You can pretty much see everything that happened in the game in a box score.
You can. Now the difference is you can get the little highlight clips that go with it.
Right. The only thing they don't have is they won't be able to tell you if a catcher blocked the pitch with a man at third base.
Need to come up with that, right? Said the former catcher.
I'm campaigning for that.
Yeah, you work on that.
And Lucroy would be leading the league.
Pitches blocked. That is strike 3 called on a breaking ball as Loesch retired, out number 1. Second strikeout for Justin Masterson. Back to the top of the order, Carlos Gomez, grounded to short back in the first inning. The big cut from Gomez.
You'll be pretty certain you're not going to get anything straight out of the hand of Masterson. Everything's going to move. Fastball moves. And a little bit of a cut to that pitch. 91 miles an hour. That's about all he's going to give you these days. 91, maybe 92. He's got the slider and moves it around pretty well when he's going good.
Will induce a lot of ground balls when things are going his way. That's last year an all-star. He began the season for the Indians last year by winning consecutive starts against Cy Young opponents. R.A. Dickey and David Price. That's how his year began as Gomez taps it foul.
Yeah, rough stretch this year. 19 starts, a .551 earned run average, and a 4-6 record. Became expendable and throws a lot of ground balls. You can see it right there.
And the Cardinals giving up one of their prospects, outfielder James Ramsey. The outfield considered an area of strength with this franchise, so move was made. And it's been a good start so far for Masterson as Gomez goes down swinging. 2 men out here in the third. Now Gerardo Parra. His first start as a Brewer, and he was able to help create a run, a 10-pitch at bat after falling behind 0-2, drew a walk and then stole second. And with 2 men out, Juanis Ramirez picked him up with a single down the line to give the Brewers the first run of the game. That's our Southwest Airlines non-stoppable play.
And that's what the Brewers need to do more of tonight against this pitcher, is be more patient. You can't take the big swings against this guy. He doesn't give up many home runs. I mean, with all the troubles that he had with the Indians, he only allowed 6 homers.
Parra tries to lay one down and fouls it off. As we mentioned at the top, Masterson can be prone to give up walks. You know the Brewers are a free swinging bunch. Parra working for a pass in the first. And the Crew in catch-up mode tonight. There's a sharply hit ground ball. Nice backhand stab, Matt Adams. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Justin Masterson. Nice play by the Cardinals first baseman. We're through 2.5. 6-1 St. Louis. The Cardinals a 5-run second difference right now. TNT U-verse rewind. This is how the second inning started. Johnny Peralta taking Kyle Loesch deep. Cardinals send 9 men to the plate in that 5-run frame. The biggest inning the Cardinals have had in a long time. 872 innings it has been since they have had such a frame. It's a lot of games. Figure that out.
Really?
Since they've had a 5-run inning.
You dig that up on your own?
Mitch got it.
Oh, we got Mitch back there.
Good.
Okay.
It's all good.
Impressive.
There's a fly ball out to shallow right, and it'll be handled by Scooter Gennett for out number 1. 872 innings.
Divided by 9.
That's you know, you're talking like 97 games.
Right, I was going to say 90 plus games.
Yeah. I'm guessing last year they had a fair amount of those 5-run innings. That's some serious stat work right there. They have to go back to April 12th against the Cubs where the Cardinals broke loose. Oscar Taveras with 1 out, and the count evens 1-1 to him. Here's from the Brewers' perspective. Let's see if Kyle Loesch can settle, and if the Brewers can chip away. Still very early in his ball game. This is hit to left. Parra is able to take care of it. 2 men out.
That young man's going to be a good hitter. When he settles in, he's got a good swing. Hits the ball to all fields. Hey, be at Miller Park on Wednesday, August 6th as the Brewers take on the Giants. And get your very own Hank the Ballpark Pup beach towel, courtesy of Meyer. Visit Brewers.com to reserve your spot today.
The legend of Hank continues to grow. What can you say?
There are those out there that credit Hank for the success of the team this year.
I'm sure there are.
He is popular.
Very. Peter Borges at the plate. Borges a fly ball to right back in the second inning. Everybody loves Hank. The 2-strike pitch. That is strike 3 called, and a nice easy inning for Kyle Loesch. 1, 2, 3 go the Cardinals. We are through 3 in St. Louis. Cruz 6-1. Our Carsoup.com trivia question tonight. Who started at catcher for the New York Yankees the game after Thurman Munson's fatal plane crash on this day in 1979?
That's right. That was today.
35 years ago.
Yeah. I was in the Pioneer League when that happened. I remember it distinctly. Of course, a boyhood idol of mine growing up in New Jersey, watching the Yankees.
I was in high school in Ohio, my hometown of Dayton, but was very familiar with Thurman Munson. A few years earlier, the Yankees and Reds played in the World Series, and you had Johnny Bench, obviously, and Thurman Munson. I think hard-nosed, tough, that would be an understatement to describe Thurman Munson.
Yeah.
All the circus atmosphere that could go on with the Yankees. Munson a stabilizer. Ryan Braun begins the 4th inning with a base hit to center.
Yeah, he was something. He kept that thing together in New York. They had the Reggie Jackson, the Billy Martin saga going on all the time, and he could hit. He really could, Thurman Munson.
One of the very, very sad days in the history of this great game. Thurman Munson was one of the outstanding catchers. Highly respected. Aramis Ramirez, run scoring single in the first. And there's a hard shot, and that gets through. Back-to-back singles to start the 4th for Milwaukee.
And 2 very hard hit baseballs by Braun and Ramirez, both on pitches up in the strike zone. That's what you have to do against this guy, according to Johnny Nairn. Make him get pitches up in the zone, and normally that's going to be early in the count. Once he gets ahead of you, he's going to start to nibble. Drop that pitch down in the strike zone and it gets to home plate. So the Brewers able to center on a couple of them here in the 4th inning.
You said it'll be interesting here in this next inning or two as you see Masterson with the 51 pitches. We'll see what Mike Matheny will have in mind for him in terms of a pitch count, but it's been close to a month since Masterson has pitched at the big league level. The Brewers have squared up on him with back-to-back singles from Braun and Ramirez, and now Jonathan Lucroy at the plate.
Well, his last minor league appearance came on July 25th. He went 6 2/3 innings. So I would imagine he's got his pitch count up pretty good.
Off speed misses. 2-0 to Lucroy. In his 2 rehab starts, it was 11 2/3 innings. It's a AAA Columbus. The ERA was 5.40. But again, sometimes you don't pay that much attention to those numbers. You're just looking to see if he's healthy and ready to get back up. But interesting to see here. It's 2-1 now, the count to Lucroy. Brewers will see another new face in the Cardinals rotation tomorrow, and John Lackey. There's a bouncer back to the box. On to second for 1, and the first not in time. Ramirez erased at second. Runners at the corners as Lucroy able to beat the relay throw to first.
Well, a little bit of a bobble. He dropped it and then bobbled it when he tried to get the handle on it out of the glove. Pretty good pitch, a cut fastball. And just a little bit late on the throw to second base, and Lucroy able to beat it easily, relatively easy anyway.
Kyle Overbay steps in. He's been good with runners in scoring position this season. .378. 17 of 45. Brewers have him at first and third now with 1 out. Just trying to see if they can chip away here, down by 5. The Cardinals with a 5-run second, both teams with runs in the first.
Overbay's had a lot of success against Masterson in his career.
6 for 11. And 3 walks. Nice pick by Cruz on a pitch inside. Yeah, Lucroy, the one Brewer who has had at least a decent dose of Justin Masterson. Gerardo Parra came into the game with a couple of hits and 3 at-bats, and Mark Reynolds, who's not in the starting lineup, has faced Masterson 6 times. That's it. And the count is 3-0 to Lyle Overbay. Back-to-back singles to start the inning from Braun and Ramirez. Lucroy bounced back to the pitcher. They get the force at second. Runners at first and third, and now making loaded is a 4-pitch walk to Lyle Overbay. A big threat here for Milwaukee in the fourth.
Well, get some men on base and maybe somebody hit one out. Scooter's got the ability to hit the home run, get right back in this ball game. Base hit does that. Played a couple of runs.
Here's Jeanette with the bases loaded. That's hit in the air, left center field, and that is headed toward the gap. It'll score 2 at least as Scooter Jeanette, 2-run double as Braun and Lucroy are in, and the Brewers are getting back in it.
Yep. And it just takes a base hit to get back in this game. 6-3 now, and the Brewers are getting a lot of mileage out of that first pitch from Masterson. Now, once again, early in the count, a sinker that stayed in the middle of the plate, and Scooter didn't try and pull it. Goes right with it, and we've been talking about how shallow this outfield is played in this series. Borges very shallow, not able to cut off the gap, and the Brewers a base hit away from getting to within 1 run.
And a conference at the mound is Derek Lilliquist, the pitching coach. As the Brewers going into attack mode here, going after that first pitch. And now it's a 3-run ball game on the 2-run double off the bat of Jeanette.
Second time through, much more productive, right? These guys getting a pretty good look at what his pitches do and getting better swings.
Gene Segura grounded to second. His first trip to the plate. Both teams getting it done early on with runners in scoring position. 2 balls, no strikes to Segura.
Got to be in swing mode right here if you're Segura. You get a fastball that's close, try and drive in a couple of runs. Pitcher on deck.
And a 3-0 count to Segura. I mentioned when Masterson's on, he gets a lot of ground balls. That double off the bat of Jeanette. Only the first Brewer to get the ball in the air tonight. But they are putting a little heat on Masterson right now. Swinging 3-0 and not getting it is Segura.
And they're trying to knock that one into the Brewers bullpen.
Segura with 4 homers on the year. He's driven in 25. Masterson ready with a 3-1. A little choppers will get a run home. The throw to first, or rather, it's 2. They will get a run home. Yes, 2 men out. And Segura bounces out, and the Brewers are within 2.
Man, made it out, productive out, plate and run, but that's not what he's looking for in a 3-1 pitch.
Yep.
Yeah, chased the pitch out of the zone, but you can understand perhaps why. You got the pitcher coming up.
Well, we mentioned in late April, Kyle Loesch helped himself. Has a chance to do it again with Jeanette at third. So 3 runs here in the 4th as the Crew back in the fight. And Loesch is down 0-2. Kyle hangs in there. Loesch has driven in 4 runs this season.
See if he can return the favor Masterson did to him. Base hit the right. Maybe dump one over that infield and drive in another run.
Again, the 2-strike pitch. Loesch enjoyed a 1-2-3 inning for the first time tonight in the 3rd, the bottom of the 3rd. Put the Cardinals down quietly. The Brewers making noise here in the 4th. And again, a foul out of play. Well, Braun and Ramirez with singles to center. And eventually a 2-run double off the bat of Scooter Jeanette. And that is strike 3 called, and that'll do it for Milwaukee in the 4th. But a good 4th inning it is as the Brewers get back into the game. Ryan Braun leading things off with a single, followed by this base hit back up the middle. And then the big shot. A 2-run double from Scooter Jeanette. It's a 6-4 game here in St. Louis. Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. The Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite, now in the original can. It's Miller time. Good night at the ballpark. They'll eventually start watching the game again, as it has become a game again. Brewers with a 3-run fourth. It's a 6-4 lead for the Cardinals as St. Louis comes to bat in the home half of the inning. And among this sea of red, as always, you'll see some Brewer fans. Good turnout, able to get some tickets here to Busch Stadium for games this weekend.
Yeah, a lot of them walking around the downtown area today.
Tony Cruz leading off the inning with a fly ball to left, and it goes over the outstretched glove of Parra, and Cruz starts the fourth with a double.
Tony Cruz put a charge into that one. Another pitch out over the plate by Kyle Lose, just having a rough time locating his pitches tonight. Another fastball that got too much of the plate. Lucroy setting up on the outside corner. That one leaked down the heart of the plate and just out of the reach of Parra out and left. Another bullet off the bat of this Cardinal offense.
Well, Cruz started in the July 12th game against the Brewers in Milwaukee. That was a big win for St. Louis, 10-2. Cruz had a couple of hits, drove in 3 that Saturday afternoon. It was Justin Masterson, the pitcher, who singled to right and scored in the second, looking to bunt here, and he lays it down effectively. Sacrifice works as Ramirez takes care of it. Out number 1.
He's pretty good at the plate for an American League guy, huh?
Knows what he's doing.
Well, that brings us to tonight's Tavern of the Game winner. It's Hilly Haven Golf Course in De Pere, Wisconsin. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. It's offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Hilly Haven.
Hilly Haven.
Been to De Pere?
Yeah.
It's not too far from you, is it?
Gotcha. From where I live, no, it's a little bit of a drive. It's a little bit of a hike. But I could get there.
Yeah.
Matt Carpenter. By the way, thanks for showing us all last night in the radio booth when Red Shandy's was there next door.
I didn't know you were in there.
I was trying to stay out of your way here.
I was just trying to get a shot of Darrell Hamilton. We were talking about fantasy camp, and there you were, hanging out with Red Shandy's.
And Kent Sommerfeld. Fly ball to left. Parra makes the catch. Tagging Cruz. Here's the throw to the plate, and he is safe and home.
Boy, what a throw by Parra that time. We talked about his throwing arm. He nearly got him. Tony Cruz, the Brewers had the right guy running at third base. Parra with that terrific throwing arm. Throw just a little bit off the mark. Lucroy up the middle. Kind of has to go off the plate, and you can see he missed him.
Just did miss him. Boy, that was a rope from Parra.
I guess if Lucroy stays back just a little bit, he's going to be able to make the out. He went out and got it and then had to turn around. If he stays back a little bit further, he's going to get the out. You can see Cruz able to grab the plate with his hand.
Brewers appealing, thinking that Cruz may have left early. That was not the case. Well, it's a 7-4 game. Just have to wonder what catchers, and you lived it, pre-plate blocking era, but it's always in the back of your mind. I wonder how you position yourself. It's
a whole new mindset. I mean, back in the old day, last year, Lucroy was setting up right in front of home plate and taking a shot. You can't do that these days unless you have the baseball. Such a fine line. I don't think the umpires understand completely what the rule is.
A confusing situation earlier in the week in the Marlins-Reds game.
But yeah, you got to clear the plate if you're catching. You have to make sure if you're running that you get nowhere near the catcher, because if you touch him or bump into him before If you make any effort to run into the catcher, you're out. So it's going to take a while. I think the rule has to be adjusted. There's going to have to be some tweaks to that collision rule.
Be very interesting to see in the off season,
because right now it's not making any sense.
Yeah, we I think all along figuring that there could be some replay tweaks in how that system works. But to the plate blocking rule, that's something that does confuse folks. Colton Wong has caused trouble tonight, his first 2 at bats, but Loesch will get him to pop up here in the inning in the 4th. Cardinals get a run, and now they lead by 3.
With the crew in the community on Saturday, August 9th, fans will have the opportunity to donate $40 in exchange for a mystery bag, which will contain an autographed baseball by a Brewers player on the active 25-man roster, Brewers manager Ron Renicky, and Mr. Baseball Hall of Famer Bob Uecker. Brewers wives will be stationed at tables throughout the ballpark selling the mystery bags until they are sold out. Proceeds will support the Next Door Foundation. Matt?
All right, Telly, thank you very much. Ron Renicky's team down 3 now as we move to the top half of the 5th inning. Brewers had a 3-run 4th, and the Cardinals pushed across another in the bottom half, and now the top of the order for Milwaukee: Gomez, Parra, and Ryan Braun. First pitch swinging. Gomez with a chopper to short. Backhand Peralta, but he'll have no chance. Infield single for Carlos Gomez.
Yeah, once the ball took that second hop, no chance to get Gomez. You either charge at, you take it on a short hop and make a throw over there, or just kind of hold on to it like Peralta did. The second big hop with speed like this, always going to be a base hit. Good start to the 5th inning.
So a leadoff single for Gomez, and now Gerardo Parra walked and scored in the 1st. Rounded to Matt Adams, the first baseman, in the 3rd. Gets away, but no advancement for Gomez. Carlos with 20 steals, you see right there, very high percentage.
And down by 3, if you take off, you better make sure you make it. Cruz with a pretty good throwing arm, but not like Yadier Molina.
Well, Molina about 50-50 throwing people out.
Of course, there's nobody like Molina.
All the injuries that have gone on. That's the one that clearly stings the most. A lot of gold gloves MVP caliber player unavailable. Gomez is running. Pitch is taken. A throw to second. Gomez has the bag easily.
Well, Gomez has been sliding feet first these days. I guess you're able to hold the bag a lot better. You know, Gomez was called out on a play earlier this year where he slid head first, went over the bag, but his knee barely went off the top of the bag, and sliding feet first will eliminate that.
21st steal of the year for Gomez, among the leaders in the National League. As Parra lays one down and Masterson will field it, and the throw to first is in time, but Gomez advances. Brewers have a runner at third as Carlos teasing a bit down the line, but retreats.
Nobody at third. Take as much as you want, Carlos. Create some problems, get the blood pressure up. Parra trying to bunt for a base hit, but he did advance Carlos to third base.
Mention the caught stealing statistic. The Brewers with a couple of steals tonight. Cruz has thrown out just 3 of 18. Anytime you give those stats, though, you got to think about the pitchers and how much of a chance the catcher has.
Right. A lot more to it than just blaming the catcher.
Said the catcher.
Right. No, there is. I mean,
no, it's true.
You know, the way the infielders take throws. I mean, how much of a jump do they get? How much attention do the pitchers pay to the base runner?
Ryan Braun started the 3-run fourth with a base hit to center his last trip. 0-1 the count. Gomez the runner at third. 1 out here in the 5th. Fastball misses. 1-1. Take a look at the Powerball home run leaderboard. Mark Reynolds, 18, leading the way. Chris Davis with 17. Followed by Carlos Gomez and then Ryan Braun.
Top 2 not even playing today.
That's right. You see him. It's off the bench. Sharply hit to third. Carpenter throws to first and a high throw. Adams able to make the play, but Gomez able to score. And the Brewers are back within 2 on the ground ball off the bat of Ryan Braun.
Talk about being in no man's land for Matt Carpenter, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Gomez just continued to creep down that line. The further away from Gomez Carpenter got, further he got down the line, and not even a throw. High throw from Gomez, disrupting the rhythm of Carpenter and almost threw it away. Not many guys are going to be able to score on that. Gomez, one of the few.
So powerful, too. He runs with fury. He's able to break for home on the throw, and now the Brewers are back to within 2 at 7-5.
Probably do well in that Wisconsin backfield, huh?
He would. You want to give him a call. He's a little busy, I guess, but practices start Monday for that football program.
He's eligible.
He would be. Lamas Ramirez, RBI single in the 1st, single to center in the 4th. There's a fly ball hit to right toward the line. Tavares diving, cannot get it. Fair ball. Ramirez on his way to second as it bounces into a ground rule double into the stands. And it's a double for Ramirez.
Yeah, that should be a triple. I mean, it's the umpire's discretion because it looked as though Tavares wasn't going to get up. I mean, fan interference on a ball like that, up for interpretation.
Yeah, Ramirez standing at third. Yeah, they are going to give him third. Okay. At first, I thought they were going to motion him back.
Right, no. But that's Tavares. He comes close. It's clearly fair. He doesn't even bother getting up. It takes him a while to get up. Fan interference, normally going to be a double, but in that case, the umpires are going to rule that, you know, because Tavares was down, that they're going to give Ramirez third base. I'm not sure what Matheny's going to argue about. Without the interference, clearly Ramirez would have made it at third base.
The crew chief, by the way, is Jerry Davis. Matheny gets his explanation, and he makes his way back to the dugout. So Ramirez has third.
That's a no-brainer, that call right there.
So now a chance here with 2 outs for the Brewers to pull within a run. Obviously a long ball would tie it. Jonathan Lucroy with 35 doubles. That was the fan who, by the way, tried to turn into a fielder. And you'll be either viewing the game from somewhere else in the park or viewing it from home. A ground ball to short. Lucroy retired, inning over, but the Brewers pick up a run, and we're halfway through in St. Louis with the Cardinals leading the Crews 7-5. Time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by AT The Brewers keeping this game close. Now Kyle Loesch will be facing the heart of the order for St. Louis. Matt Holliday, Matt Adams, and Johnny Peralta. See what Holliday has done tonight. By the way, going back to the top of the 5th when Ramirez got the triple. His last 8 at bats. It's not. He won't get credit for hitting for the cycle, but he has over his last 8 at bats. That was all that was missing last night.
You don't get a lot of work done. You don't get anything for that, though, right?
You get nothing.
No mention on the highlight show.
Nope. Nope. Holliday with a foul pop. Lyle Overbay dropped the ball.
Ouch. You can't do that with Holliday up there at the plate. Well, that's a good pitch by Loesch. Got it on his hands, and this is a foul ball that Overbay could normally catch in his sleep. Probably give him an error.
The defense at first base, be it through Overbay or Mark Reynolds, has been so good. There'll be an error charge to Lyle Overbay, and we'll see if Holliday makes him pay, and the answer is yes. Sharply hit off the glove of Jeanette.
Yeah, give an extra swing, almost knocked one off of Kyle Loesch. I mean, that was close. Boy, Loesch able to get out of the way, and Holliday with the extra swing bangs one into center field. Once again, fastball location for Loesch. Up out over the play. He's fortunate that ball didn't hit him.
That was a shot. Here's Matt Adams. He's 0 for 2 tonight. Cardinals with 7 hits. They have as many runs here in the game. Adams came into the game 3 for 5 against Loesch in his career. Just grounded to short and fly to right here so far tonight. Two balls, one strike.
And his off-speed pitch is much better tonight than his fastball. And not able to really put that fastball where he wants it, but the breaking pitches have been pretty good.
Here's the 2-1. It's the roughest outing for Loesch. The second roughest of the season here. He early in June in a game in Pittsburgh worked 5 innings and gave up 9 hits and 8 runs, all of which were earned. And a walk to Adams, so the first 2 Cardinals reach here in the 5th. Join Fox Sports Wisconsin for the 3rd annual Brewers Mini Marathon and 10K on Saturday, September 20th, beginning and ending at Miller Park. The course goes past many Milwaukee landmarks. Members receive a race shirt, medal, a Brewer ticket voucher, and celebrate at a post-race tailgate party. For details, visit foxsportswisconsin.com and click on the More tab. Trouble here for Kyle Loesch and the Brewers in the 5th. Cardinals with runners at first and second, nobody out. Johnny Peralta, a solo homer in the 2nd inning.
And Brewers starting to get some activity down in that bullpen. Looks like Kinsler's starting to get loose. Haven't seen Brandon in a while. Good to see him up and getting loose out in the bullpen.
Yeah, he has not appeared in a game since last Sunday against the Mets. 2-0 to Peralta.
It's one of those days out there for Loesch. Haven't seen many of them. Going the 3rd time this year that Loesch has allowed more than 3 earned runs in a start.
You think back a couple of weeks ago in a game against Washington, gave up 10 hits, but he scattered them. In 7 innings, only allowed 1 run. Able to grind that one out. And a strike to Johnny Peralta, 2-1 the count.
I'm trying to throw just about every one of his off-speed pitches now. Change-up, sliders, curveballs, and trying to avoid the fastball as best he can.
Here comes the 2-1. And there's a shot into left field, a base hit. Station to station baseball is Holiday electing not to challenge Parra, and that's a good idea as another rope into Lucroy. But the Cardinals have him loaded with nobody out of the 5th.
Once you got the bottom of the order coming up, so Loesch has got an opportunity to minimize the damage here. Tavares, Borges, Cruz. He's trying to get ready as quickly as he can.
Tavares hitting .210. As you mentioned, Rockies last at bat. You just had the feeling this guy's going to bust loose. You just hope it starts another day. Very highly regarded young player in this Cardinals organization. 0 for 2 tonight. Tavares getting his opportunity to play every day. He's been up and down a bit between the big club, AAA.
Big kid, 6 feet 2 inches tall and 200 pounds. Born in 1992.
Does it make you feel old,
yes,
Norman?
It does.
Number one prospect in this organization. Last 2 years is rated by Baseball America. Here's the 2-0. Big time cut. 2-1. Bases loaded with nobody out. 7-5 St. Louis.
Good fastball there. That's about as good a location as we've seen from Loesch tonight. Down and away. And he got back even in the count.
Third inning was the one quiet inning that Kyle has had here tonight. 9 pitches to set him down in order. Otherwise, it's been a tough go to this point. Here's the 2-2. Odd shot, base hit, right center field. It will score 2. Here's the throw into second, and Segura unable to handle it. 9-5 the Cardinals. Holiday and Adams scoring as Tavares drives him in.
He got the count to 3-2 and then hung a slider. Well, that pitch up out over the plate, and Tavares able to wait back and bang it hard just out of the reach of Jeanette over there at second base. And with good speed, he ends up at second with a double. Holiday and Adams come around to score, and a rough day here today at Busch Stadium for Kyle Loesch.
The first 4 reach here in the inning, and Ron Renicky has to go to his bullpen. 9-5 St. Louis. Brandon Kinsler coming on. Plus innings, and his night is done as the first 4 Cardinals have reached here in the 5th. 9-5 the score as Kyle's night is over. Now on for the Brewers is Brandon Kinsler.
As you mentioned, we haven't seen much from Brandon Kinsler in a while. Last Sunday, he pitched against the New York Mets, retired all 5 batters that he faced. That included a strikeout. Kinsler coming off the 15-day DL back on April 23rd. Before that time, he was lights out, but still trying to come back to that form. Starting to get his location a little bit better, and needs to come up with a Houdini act here with the bases loaded and nobody out. Cardinals looking to blow this one wide open in this inning.
Mentioned with Loesch, his toughest of the season, toughest outing of the season. It's as tough as he's had in his career. 9 runs allowed, and the 2 runners on are his responsibility.
And 4+ innings.
Yep. Peter Borges at the plate. Johnny Peralta, the runner at third. Taveras at second. Sharply hit to Ramirez, and he wants to go to the plate. They have Peralta hung up. Lucroy runs him back. And now Gene Segura will flip to Kinsler, and the tag is applied. Peralta is retired. Runners at second and third, but they prevent the run.
I'm not sure why Jonathan didn't just run him back to third base and have 2 guys on third and make it easy.
Yeah, they had a traffic jam there.
But they got the out.
Borges able to get to second. Peralta extended the play long enough. Now Tony Cruz steps in. Cruz has walked. Singled and scored. In there for a strike.
Cruz a high ball hitter. He likes the ball up in the strike zone. Important for Kinsler to be able to bury that sinker down and in and hope that he hits it at somebody. Infield in, really limits your range out there. That was a good pitch that time by Brandon. Got that sinker down and in, and Cruz over the top of it.
0-2 the count. To third. Again the throw to the plate, and again out at the plate. So Ramirez able to help keep the Cardinals from inflicting further damage as Taveras is cut down. Runners at first and third with 2 men out.
Good job by Brandon Kinsler so far. A couple of knuckle busters, those fastballs, those sinkers going in on their hands, and a couple of easy ground outs to third. Running on contact is Borges, and he's an easy out at home plate. Actually, Taveras.
So Kinsler 2/3 of the way home here. Justin Masterson, who's been impressive at the plate tonight. He singled and laid down a sacrifice bunt. Kinsler's out in front, 2 strikes.
About as good a fastball as Kinsler's had in a while. Getting on top of it, getting good movement. And maybe the time off has done him good.
His first appearance in 6 days. Cruz is running as the pitch is chopped foul at third. Brewers have been in catch-up mode most of this night. Cardinals led 6-1 after 2. Brewers cut it to a 2-run game on a couple of occasions, and now see what St. Louis has done here in the 5th to go back out in front by 4, 9-5 the count.
Not many zeros up there.
Nope, not at all. There's the 2-strike pitch. Inning over. That is impressive work by Brandon Kinsler as he prevents St. Louis from extending the lead. 4-run advantage now for the Cardinals. Inning here at Busch Stadium. Carsuit.com trivia question. Who started a catcher for the Yankees the game after Thurman Munson's fatal plane crash on this day in 1979? And the answer is the bench coach for the Brewers today, Jerry Narron.
Yep, he remembers it vividly, and a very emotional day, of course, for everybody in baseball, and certainly Jerry Narron. Good, solid defensive catcher, had a nice career. Has had a good career as a manager and coach in the big leagues. And coaching with his brother these days here in Milwaukee.
And Johnny Narron, hitting coach. Yeah, when they had the ceremony in the first game back after the fatal plane crash, the players at the time of the anthem were on the field for it. And left that position, home plate. Jerry Narron held back. They recognized Thurman Munson. Very, very emotional day, obviously for the Yankees, but for any baseball fan, no matter who your team of choice may be. Lyle Overbay starting the 6th for Milwaukee. Overbay has walked a couple of times tonight. Is out in front, a ball, 2 strikes.
Masterson isn't exactly on the top of his game tonight, but he's got 2 runs to work with. Nice cushion. Back to a 4-run lead.
He's given up 6 hits. He has walked 3, struck out 4. To Matt Adams. Masterson covering, out number 1.
Not the slickest fielder in the big leagues, but you know, when he can get in front of it, get a glove on it, he's going to make the play. Guarding the line with Overbay up and makes that play easily. A flip over to Masterson for the out.
Here's Scooter Gennett. A 2-run double in the 4th to help get the Brewers back in it. And they find themselves 4 runs down now in the 6th. Scooter, one of those guys who the overall average at better than 300, 304 at the moment, but now over the last nearly 50 games, he's been even better than that, 331. And he dumps a single into left. Second hit of the night for Scooter Gennett.
And he does that as well as anybody, just flaring that baseball up and in into left field, not trying to pull it. Got it down on the trademark and just dumps it into left field. Pitch that started right on the inside corner, then with the movement leaked over the heart of the plate, and Gennett able to handle it and dump it into left field.
Here's Gene Segura. Driven in a run tonight. There's a bouncing ball to second. That's 1. That's 2. 4-6-3 on the double play. And that's it for the Brewers in the 6th. Into the bottom of the 6th for the Cardinals, leading 9-5. 8-5. As promised earlier in the broadcast, we have the AT&T fan photo. Tweet your photo to hashtag, he said, was fan photo for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. Brought to you by AT&T. Michael and Frank here.
Looking like the Clement sausages.
Yeah, the racing sausages.
Marco Estrada on for the 22nd time. He made 18 starts. He had Kinzo in the middle of an inning because it takes Marco a little bit longer to get loose. The former starting pitcher from Milwaukee. What a job by Brandon Kinzo. Huh? Bases loaded, nobody out. Ground ball, strikeout to get out of it. And talk about minimizing damage.
Took him all of 8 pitches. Talking about Brandon Kinsler to get out of the Brewers being in an even deeper hole. As we look at a defensive change now, Elian Herrera in the lineup, and he'll be out there at second. He started last night. Top of the order for St. Louis: Carpenter, Wong, and Holiday.
The 4th relief appearance of the season for Marco since being taken out of the starting rotation. Last pitched on Tuesday against the Rays.
Estrada ready to work to Carpenter. It's a tough night for Kyle Loesch, but this starting rotation has been good for a while. You look at what it's done over the last 11 going into this game. Sub-2 ERA, 1.81 to be exact, 6-2. They just weren't giving up much of anything, but tonight it turned around.
Yes, it did. And Kyle Loesch earned run average coming in 3.07, sitting at 3.4 right now. That's how quickly it can go up.
Yeah, we talk about how things can fluctuate so much early in the season. It still can, and now we're into August.
So you have one bad outing, you can go up like that. Think about that Bob Gibson earned run average back in the 60s. 1.12.
And all those complete games to
you
go
can
with
never have a bad outing to have an earned run average like that.
And he was going the distance. 2-2 the count. Now the Brewers need Marco Estrada to keep things at least within striking distance for the Brewers. See how much longer Mike Matheny goes with Masterson, as there is some bullpen activity for St. Louis, and Seacrest up and throwing now for the Cardinals. Kevin Seacrest.
Hard throwing lefty out there.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Carpenter. Back to Estrada. That's out number 1.
Hey, all fans at Miller Park on Friday, August 8th, as the Brewers kick off their series against the Dodgers, will receive a vintage Brewers t-shirt featuring the Barrelman logo. That's courtesy of Orbis Corporation. Call 902-4000 or go to brewers.com. A free t-shirt, the Barrelman logo.
It's free. Free is good.
Yeah.
There's Colton Wong.
By the way, thanks for dinner tonight.
It's a good trade for me. Thanks for lunch.
Nice press room meal.
Yeah. I take it nowhere but the best spots.
Right.
I think I won that trade. Nice lunch.
That'll turn around at some point.
It will. Those things have a way of evening out, right?
Well, no, they should, but I've been telling BA that for 8 years now.
Still has a hard time reaching that wallet.
Yeah.
You're saying? All right, I got you.
Deep pockets, short arms.
BA will be back on Tuesday. Brewers start their homestand. Colton Wong.
Yeah, Brewers with an off day on Monday, right before the West Coast comes into town. Giants, Dodgers.
Yeah, not a lot of breaks on that schedule, to say the least. For Ron Renicke's team is Colton Wong, the base hit down the line and left. Parra running it down. Wong on his way to second, and he is in. That's a third hit of the night for Colton Wong. Well, here's a guy who's really turning things around. It was a tough start to the year for Wong. Was set down. Comes back up, and he is showing some signs of being the kind of player they thought he could be.
Yeah, he's having a good night tonight. A home run. He's got good speed. He adds an element of speed to the Cardinals offense, something that they don't have much of, but when he gets on, he can steal some bases for you.
Since returning from the disabled list in early July, he's become a home run threat. He's included in that a home run tonight. It's Matt Holliday. There's a couple of hits tonight, including one in the fifth. After a foul pop was not handled by Lyle Overbay, Holliday was able to get a base hit, and that helped start a run scoring inning for St. Louis. Actually, 2 runs scored in that frame. Runner goes, pitch is taken, a strike, to throw to third, not nearly in time. Long had the big jump. Now he's at third.
And that's what you're talking about. Remember, you're talking about not necessarily blaming catchers for stolen bases. Check this out. Not much chance for Lucroy. Token throw to third base.
0-2 to Holliday. Colton Wong at third and 1 out. Out of play. Field again in for the Crew. Holliday with 11 homers on the year, 5 since the All-Star break. Two for 3 tonight. Wong, that was his 16th stolen base of the year. Estrada ready with a 2-strike pitch. That's a big strikeout.
Yes, it is. Holliday chasing a pitch out of the strike zone. So Holliday swings at 2 fastballs by Marco. That got up to all of 90 miles an hour and got him right by him. 2 fastballs out of the strike zone.
It's the 4th strikeout for Brewers pitching tonight. Now Matt Adams to the plate. Walked and scored in his last trip back in the 5th. Back 1 inning ago. A very good batting average. Among the leaders in the National League. One and 1 the count.
He got pretty good power. Stays on the baseball pretty well. Got a lot of power in the left center.
The ability to beat the shift if that's what he thinks he needs to do.
But really hasn't had that much success with runners in scoring position this year.
There's such a big area for the Cardinals last year. They were just crazy good in that category. I talked about all the runs that they scored, well ahead of anybody else in the National League last year. Much different story here this season. Pitches upstairs. Yeah, 241 mark. Runners in scoring position for Adams. This was where the Cardinals excelled a year ago.
I'm having a good night in that statistic tonight. Got 4 hits with men in scoring position.
4 for 9. Estrada ready with the 3-2. We'll do it again. You see that shift for Adams. It's hit in the air, right center field. Gomez is there, and that will do it for the Cardinals here in the 6th. Still 9-5 St. Louis. Lewis. America's new sports network is a place to turn before every slam, every goal, and every game with America's pregame on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Tune into America's pregame weekdays at 5 p.m. Central only on Fox Sports 1. To find Fox Sports 1 on your cable or satellite provider, go to foxsports1.com. Wondered how much longer Justin Masterson was going to go, and the answer is his night is done as Mike Matheny going to his bullpen here, the top of the 7th, is Kevin Segrist on the mound.
Hey, Segrist, another guy recently coming off the disabled list. They left a forearm strain. Was back on the active roster back on the 23rd of July. You see his numbers, a .386 earned run average, more strikeouts than innings pitched, and a very good opponent batting average at .221. One of 3 left-handers down in that Cardinals pen.
Hard thrower, get you in the mid-90s. Elian Herrera will lead things off here in the 7th. And Seager starts him with a strike.
I guess Masterson can't be all that pleased about his outing today. I mean, giving up 5 runs in 6 innings, but he is leaving with a lead. Pretty much as advertised. Good sinker, a lot of ground ball outs. And started to throw strikes as the game went on. Walked 3.
Herrera continues to just rake against St. Louis. A base hit for him. A guy that, in his career, brief as it is, .485 against St. Louis.
How about that? A much better left-handed hitter than right. Hey, it's Cerveceros Day, Sunday, August 10th, to see the Brewers square off against the Dodgers and get your free chorizo racing sausage bobble courtesy of Clemens Sausage. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or visit brewers.com.
Carlos Gomez, infield single his last trip. And that's well hit toward the gap in left center. And that'll get all the way to the wall. Here comes Herrera rounding third, heading for home, and the Brewers are within 3. RBI double.
Not going away yet, are they?
They're not.
They are just going to slug. The Brewers are saying, if you want to slug, we'll slug with you. Just keep coming right back. Putting a run on here in the 7th. A good high finish. Look at Gomez. Nice little pose after that swing and driving that one into the gap. And Herrera with good speed able to score. Run number 6. So the Brewers down by 3. Still nobody out. And the big boys coming up.
9-6 game. Now Gerardo Parra will step to the plate. Gomez with the RBI double. Take a look at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Parra helping manufacture a run in the first, working a 10-pitch walk, stole a base, scored on a Ramirez single. And now Gomez is going, pitch taken, and Gomez has third. Second stolen base of the night for Carlos Gomez.
Well, Seager's really not paying much attention to him. The other thing about Seager is not throwing all that hard right now. 92, 93. Good jump. And Cruz throws from his knees, not even close. So a man at third with nobody out. Well, the Brewers 90 feet away from getting right back in it.
1-0 the count to Parra. Got a piece, 1-1. Parra followed by Braun and then Ramirez. And not quite as hard as what you could get from Seagrist, but Parra behind there and now down 1-2.
Yeah, he was 95, 96 before he went on the disabled list.
A ball, 2 strikes to Gerardo Parra, making his first start tonight as a Brewer. Came in the ball game in place of Chris Davis last night, had 1 at bat. Getting the starting call here this evening. 2-2 the count. Down on strikes. 1 out with Gomez still at third.
Interesting, with nothing but right-handers coming up now, that Mike Matheny has another left-hander up in the bullpen. Sam Freeman. Got 3 consecutive right-handed hitters, and then you have Overbay and Jeanette. There's Freeman. He pitched last night.
Ryan Braun will be the hitter. Braun tonight with a single in 3 trips. Fastball at 93, missing. Braun has driven in a run tonight to give him 64 RBIs on the year. Came in tied for 6th in the National League in runs batted in. We thought it'd be a night where runs could be scored. You mentioned it, Bill. The weather nice and warm. Nice warm summer day / night. You never know for sure. I mean, Kyle Loesch has been pitching so well, but both teams have the offense going. The Brewers proving that they're not done. That is sharply hit to short. Peralta takes a look at the plate, but has no chance to get Gomez as Braun grounds out. Gomez is in, and the Brewers are back within 2.
Yeah, don't go anywhere yet. Still have a ball game here in St. Louis. That run courtesy of Carlos Gomez, double stolen base and able to score on the Braun ground ball with the infield back. Another ball hit very sharply by Braun, but right at an infielder. We saw that a bunch against the Tampa Bay Rays.
Ramirez, triple his last at bat. At first they were going to hold him at second, but fan interference was able to get credit for the triple. First for him in a couple of years. Nothing in 2 to Aramis Ramirez. It's 3 for 3 tonight. And 6 for 8 in the series. That is hit in the air to center. Peter Borges with plenty of room. And that'll do it for the Crew in the 7th. But Milwaukee picks up a couple of runs. Still a game here at Busch Stadium. 9-7 St. Louis. Part of the reason why our Marshfield Clinic shining moment. Brandon Kinsler coming on in relief of Kyle Loesch was able to prevent St. Louis from putting any more runs on the board. As Ramirez able to cut down a couple of Cardinals at the plate. But, that was big work from Kinsler. Needed 8 pitches to retire 3 Cardinals and get out of further trouble.
Yeah, already 9 runs in on the day for the Cardinals. 2 already in that inning, and Kinsler coming in a hornet's nest, bases loaded, nobody out, and able to get out of it with nobody scoring. So credit Kinsler with a couple of inherited base runners stranded tonight, or actually 3.
Here's Johnny Peralta. Had a good night, couple of hits, including a solo homer. Started a 5-run second inning for the Cardinals. It's tight National League Central. We check out the other teams in this race. Reds and Marlins are tied at 1 in the bottom of the 8th. Pirates lead the Diamondbacks 1-0 in the 5th. Second inning of work for Marco Estrada. Kyle Loesch went 4+, gave up 9 runs, 7 of which were earned. Kinsler an inning. Estrada now with his second frame. It's Peralta, Taveras, and Borges for St. Louis in the bottom of the 7th.
Marco's been able to command his changeup. Yeah, much better lately. That was a good changeup right there to Peralta. Just got a piece of it.
Again, the 2-2. That's well hit to left. Here comes Parra diving, and makes the catch. My goodness, he makes the catch. Gerardo Parra laying out and is able to take a hit away from Johnny Peralta.
There's somewhat of a nonchalant call out there to third base umpire. I wasn't sure what he was going to call, but a great catch by Parra, clearly in the glove. Finally get the out call. And this is the defense we've been talking about. We already saw the good throwing arm, although he did have a throwing error tonight. A walk and a stolen base and a good diving catch in left field.
Out number 1. Oscar Taveras. Taveras had a big 2-run double in the 5th inning. And at the moment, that's the difference in the game. 9-7 the score in favor of St. Louis. The 3-0. Estrada has battled back. The count is full. Taveras 1 for 3 tonight. The Brewers bullpen trying to keep this team in the game.
Amazing how Marco with that 88 to 91 mile-an-hour fastball able to get by these hitters just because of the idea of the changeup coming.
And the payoff. Missed ball 4. Taveras, the 1-out base runner.
And he missed with the changeup.
It's the 4th walk given up by Brewers pitching. The first for Estrada tonight. Now Peter Borges to the plate. Looking for his first hit tonight. The average for Borges now at 223.
He's got such good speed. He's just not able to get on base enough to make an impact. Getting some playing time. John Jay banged up.
A little wrist injury with Jay, trying to check his swing in a game in their most recent series against the Padres in San Diego. Ball 1 to Borges. His best year in the big leagues. You go back 3 years ago when he hit .271. Saw Francisco Rodriguez look like out there in the pen.
Hoping he gets a shot to close one out tonight.
A little work to do to get to him, but why not? Just hit in the air. Calling for it. Shallow right is Elian Herrera. 2 outs. Well, Marco Estrada making that move from the rotation of the bullpen, but he's helping out his club here tonight.
Think about the last 2 saves for K-Rod. You know, games started out in Tampa and here in St. Louis last night, 5-0, 7-0. Ended up having to come in and close them out.
Yeah. See Will Smith there in front of him. This has been a very, very busy bullpen, to say the least. So many close games, and it goes back to early in the season. Tony Cruz pops it up behind the plate. Lucroy will not have a play on it. Kinsler did a great job in the 5th, and now Estrada trying to keep the Cardinals off the board here, which he did in the 6th, trying to do the same thing here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Oscar Taveras, the runner at first. 0-1 to the Cardinals catcher, Tony Cruz. To right field, base hit. Taveras will stop at second. And a 2-out threat here for St. Louis.
Nice swing by Cruz. Thinking right field all the way. Fastball up and out over the plate. And he just hammers it out there in the right field. Got on top of it. Good swing. He's looked pretty good at the plate today.
2 hits and a walk. Daniel Descalso will come in. The pinch hit with runners at first and second and 2 men out. Descalso 6 for 26 as a pinch hitter this year.
It's been a rough season for him. Hasn't been able to play much. Hitting under 200. Played just about everywhere last year, including some shortstop.
Driven in just 5 runs. And Estrada out in front, 0-2. Another guy last year who was very effective with runners in scoring position. 361 a year ago. 2 strikes and nothing to Descalso. Got him swinging. Marco Estrada turning in some good work for the Brewers, and we are through 7. Still 9-7 the Cardinals. And the Brewers 7. Around here. Here's what's on tap, brought to you by Miller Lite. Tomorrow, the series finale. Matt Garza on the mound for the Crew against another one of the new faces for St. Louis, John Lackey. Well, that trade earlier this week, the flurry of trades going on before the non-waiver deadline. They started tomorrow at 12:30 right here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Yeah, the Red Sox made 6 deals before the All-Star break. Or I should say the trading deadline, and Lackey one of them.
It's a crazy day.
Yeah.
Matt Neshek now on the mound for St. Louis.
Very unorthodox delivery, but boy, has he had some success this year. Just about as many strikeouts as innings pitched. Earned run average under 1. A 4-0 record, and making an appearance number 49, second on the club.
All-Star. See that very low ERA.
You just don't see a delivery like that. Release point. Hardly kind of turns. He doesn't turn his shoulders too much to get himself in position to throw. And a delivery like that, you would think it'd be very tough on the arm, the elbow, the shoulder. He's had a nice year.
Look at the All-Star team for the first time in his career. 0-2 the count to Jonathan Lucroy.
Yeah, the uniqueness of the delivery, what makes him so effective. Guys just don't see pitchers like this guy too often.
2-strike pitch and swung on, and that's strike 3. Lucroy got a piece. Cruz hangs on. That's out number 1.
Just can't see the baseball out of his hand. He hides it well. It's coming out from behind that back, and look at the location right on the outside corner.
Sixth strikeout for St. Louis pitching tonight. One away here in the 8th for Lyle Overbay. He's walked twice and is grounded out. Overbay. Hit softly and handled by Colton Wong. 2 men out.
Well, excuse me, swing that time by Overbay on a pitch down and in. Just don't see the ball very well against this guy.
Ricky Weeks now on a pinch hit. Good couple innings of work for Marco Estrada. Now Ricky Weeks on the pinch hit. He is 9 for 39 in that department this year. Driven in 5 runs. It's only the second time that Weeks has gone against Neshek. 0 for 1. Pops that in at 91. 0-2 to Weeks. Base is empty with 2 men out. Fastball misses. 1-2. Brewers scored 2 in the 7th to pull to within 2. Neshek has retired the first 2 Brewers here in the 8th. Struck out Lucroy and got Overbay to line softly to second.
Hey, working out of relief is perfect for a guy like Neshek, who has that unusual delivery. The more you see him, the more comfortable you get. But one time through the order, he can be tough to hit for sure.
Breaking ball gets Weeks. Brewers retired in order. 9-7. St. Louis leading the Brewers. Ron Renicky will go to the bullpen again. Fourth pitcher tonight, and this time it's Tom Dorzalon.
Yeah, he's been pretty good, hasn't he, since coming off the disabled list. Reinstated on June 14th. Has yet to allow a run this year. Covers 12 games, 11 innings pitched. Last appeared on Sunday back at home against the Mets.
So good work for Marco Estrada. 2 innings of 2-hit shutout ball to keep the crew in it.
That's been money.
It has. All the runs tonight against Kyle Loesch. Of the 9, 7 were earned. Top of the order for St. Louis. Carpenter, Wong, and Holiday. Carpenter takes a strike. Carpenter 0 for 2. He has walked and scored. Sac fly in the 4th. Brewers were retired in order in the top of the 8th. Pat Neshek doing good work for St. Louis. Dorzalani trying to keep this a 2-run game.
Dorzalani these days basically, fastball, slider. He'll throw a changeup, little 2-seamer. And a couple of left-handers and then Holiday to deal with.
Carpenter fouls out of play. Brewers start the night 2.5 games ahead of Pittsburgh. Pirates and Diamondbacks tied at 1 in the 6th. Through 3 games ahead of St. Louis. Reds and Marlins are tied at 1 in the 9th. Cincinnati is 5.5 behind. 2-2 pitch to Carpenter. That got him. Carpenter on at first, and now Colton Wong will step in. He's had himself a night. 3 for 4. Solo home run in the first inning. Wong tries to bunt and pops it up.
Yeah, big hit for the Cardinals tonight was that Wong base hit in the second inning, driving in a couple of runs. And drove in 3 of the first 4 runs for the Cardinals tonight.
That was part of a 5-run inning. It was the biggest inning that St. Louis has had since about the middle of April. Line drive, Segura flags it down.
That ball just kept slicing closer to him as he got to it, and Segura with a smile on his face, thinking I almost overran that baseball.
Out number 1 here in the 8th. Matt Holiday steps in.
Talk about all the hits that have been driving in runs in this game, but for me the biggest hit of the night was that Justin Masterson base hit to right in the second inning with 2 outs. If Loesch is able to get him, they don't score a single run. Or actually, they get 1 run.
Yeah, Peralta led off that inning with a home run, but yeah, they're able to get Taveras and Peter Borges. Cruz walked, and Justin Masterson getting a base hit.
This game would be looking much different.
Yep. 5 straight Cardinals reached after 2 were out. Holiday has given Gorzolani some trouble. 5 for 13 in his career with a homer against him. Holiday's given a lot of pitchers trouble.
Yeah, he always has. One of the strongest guys in all of baseball.
Oh, and 2 the count. Got him swinging.
Same pitch that Estrada got him on. High fastball out of the strike zone.
Yep. Chased it. And he'll take a seat.
Well, good job by Lucroy remembering it to see if he was going to chase it again. He threw it right where he wanted it, and Holiday did go after it.
Two outs. Carpenter the runner at first. Matt Adams the hitter. In there, a strike. Gorzolani out in front, 0-2. Moving to the top of the ninth, it'll be Segura, Herrera, and Gomez.
And to face Trevor Lorzenthal.
Tapper charging is Herrera. The throw to first, and not in time. Had the shift on. Herrera was deep out on the outfield grass. And Adams able to beat the throw.
All the hard hit balls he's had the last couple of days, and he gets a base hit on that. Herrera out in short to right field. Look where he starts. Adams rolls over on one. I think the only guy that really had a shot at getting him would have been Segura, but he wasn't able to get there, and Adams able to beat it. The fleet of foot Matt Adams.
Infield hit. Busting up the line. It's hit number 12 for the Cardinals tonight. The first for Adams. Johnny Peralta to the plate. He has a couple of hits in this ball game. Now Gorzolani and Jonathan Lucroy will have a quick chat. Peralta won the year with 41 extra base hits. That leads this Cardinals team. He's homered and singled tonight in 4 at-bats. His first year with St. Louis. In there, a strike, 1-1.
Man, wasn't looking for that. Something on the inside corner. Ordinarily, you look for something away from you against Gorzolani. Snuck one inside on him.
Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Brewers bullpen has kept the Cardinals off the board here tonight. Trying to keep it that way here in the bottom of the 8th. Runners at first and second with 2 men out. Fastball high. All of the runs tonight for the Cardinals off of Kyle Loesch, 4+ innings. Very tough outing for someone who's been a very, very good pitcher. Very consistently good for the Brewers this year, but just didn't have it tonight. Here comes the 2-2. That is strike three swinging. They'll give it to the Brewers bullpen. Last chance for the Brewers. 9-7 St. Louis. Brewers have work to do. Last chance for Milwaukee. Top of the ninth inning with the Cardinals leading the Crew 9-7. If the Brewers are going to rally, they'll do it against one of the better ones in the business right now, as Trevor Rosenthal on the mound for St. Louis.
Well, 4 blown saves. He's 32 out of 36. He's tied for the National League lead. It's a three-way tie. Craig Kimbrel and Francisco Rodriguez of the Brewers. He's only allowed the 1 home run. Big strikeout numbers for Rosenthal, 63 of them in just shy of 50 innings of work.
Gene Segura will lead things off. First pitch swinging down the line and right, and that's a fair ball. That's going to go to the corner, as on his way to second is Segura, and that's a good start to the ninth for Milwaukee.
Just has to get that tying run to the plate, and the Brewers in one pitch able to do it. Fastball up in the zone. Segura goes right with it, right down the middle of the plate, and doesn't try and pull it. So a good start to the ninth from Milwaukee. Hits it hard right down the line, so the Brewers have 3 shots at trying to knock one out of here.
th double of the year for Segura, and now Elian Herrera. He of the .500 average against St. Louis. It's a young career, but you're hitting .500 against St. Louis.
Some pretty good pitching.
Yes, sir. The 1-0. And that got him, I think. Yes, sir. I think that flicked him in the arm, and Herrera's on, and the tying run is at first.
Rosenthal, the hard thrower. Location can be an issue for him at times, and that one just grazes. Looked like the top of the arm, and you see the call right away by Phil Cuzzy. And the Brewers with their first 2 men on.
Yep. The upper arm there, so huge opportunity now for the Crew.
And now the Brewers with the top of their order coming up.
Carlos Gomez. Stolen a couple of bases tonight. to go along with those 2 hits.
Well, and as the case with everything that's close these days, he could probably ask for a replay to see if it hit him, and there they go. Everything that is even remotely close.
Yeah.
Managers are going to go out there and ask for a review, and
I hesitate to say it, but I'm going to anyway. This shouldn't take very long here. It looked pretty clear that he got hit in the upper arm.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah,
I mean, we've seen things even in his series. A play yesterday we thought was pretty cut and dried, but wasn't called that way. So we'll see what goes on.
Take another look.
I'm not sure what you look for. Maybe movement in the jersey, or I don't know. I mean, it's called a hit batter. I don't know, what you look for or how you determine whether if it did not hit him or not. One of the signs that I think it might have hit him is the fact that Tony Cruz never caught it.
Right.
Maybe deflected just enough to get off the end of his glove, and ordinarily a catcher's going to be able to catch that if it doesn't rebound off of something or someone.
So review going on. It seemed pretty clear, as though Elian Herrera took that the upper arm. But they're going to let the folks in New York decide.
Umpires make that call most of the time with the sound of the play and not necessarily what they see. If they see it hit a batter, if it's close, it's all about listening and hearing what's going on out there.
Might have heard a couple of things there, hitting the arm and then hitting the end of the bat. And they say hit the end of the bat. So I guess I was looking at that with too biased a pair of eyes there. I thought he got clipped in the upper arm, but you heard a thump. Hear it.
I heard 2 things. I'm not sure what it hit.
Yeah. I'm going to say a foul ball.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounded like your 2 little clicks.
Hit something.
Yeah.
Apparently the bat.
So we play on. Rosenthal bringing it at 97 and missing. 2-1 the count.
Location hasn't been real good for him so far. He's missed badly on 3 pitches to Herrera here.
Segura, the runner at second. Leadoff double here in the 9th. Little chopper to Colton Wong at second. And a low throw, but Adams able to dig it out. Out number 1. One more look here.
Got the knob of the bat. Yep, there you see it. Yep. Finally got the Phantom Cam replay, and clear as day. It hit the knob of the bat. I wasn't looking down there, but they were in New York.
A direct call. Here's Carlos Gomez. With Segura now at third.
Actually, it was the Dino Cam. I'm being scolded.
The Dino Cam.
Not the Phantom Cam.
Okay.
The Exmo Cam.
All right. Stand corrected.
Just got to make sure that get the names of the cameras correct.
98 miles an hour. Gomez just gets a piece. 0-2 the count. Swing and a miss as Rosenthal pours it in there at 100. 2 men out.
Man, what a turnaround. Instead of a hit batter, you get a foul ball, you get 2 outs, and the Brewers down to their last batter. And that one right down Main Street at Belt High, and Carlos comes up empty. Big fastball.
Gerardo Parra will try to extend the game for the Crew. Segura led off with a double. Herrera grounded to second, and Gomez struck out swinging. More heat, and this one is high. One and one. Not messing around. Rearing back and letting it rip is Trevor Rosenthal. Here comes the 1-1. Now the Brewers are down to one strike. Segura at third. Rosenthal with a 1-2. Bounced up there. Blocked by Cruz. Parra 1 for 3 in his career against Rosenthal. A 2-2 count to the newest Brewer. Here it comes. Parra back in the first worked a 10-pitch walk against Justin Masterson. Stole second and scored the first run of the night. Hanging in there against Trevor Rosenthal here in inning number 9. Full count.
Try to change up. How about that pitch?
Yeah. Three and 2 to Gerardo Parra. Ryan Braun is next if they can get to him. Oh, a good battle.
Yeah, he's hanging in there. The only real chance you have on that fastball is to make sure you get it down in the strike zone. Anything belt and above, very difficult to get a bat on.
$45,000 plus sellout crowd here in St. Louis. It's good rivalry between these two teams. Brewers trying to hang in there. Parra does hang in there. You mentioned that long at bat in the first. He's got a long at bat going here in the ninth. Gerardo Parra. Tony Cruz will have a quick conversation with Trevor Rosenthal.
To give him a breather, I guess. I mean, he's just pumping fastballs in there against Gerardo Parra, and maybe give him an opportunity to take a deep breath.
And here we go again with the 3-2. That'll do it. Change up. It's Gerardo Parra, and the Cardinals hang on. Well, the Brewers in the ninth get a leadoff double from Gene Segura. Elian Herrera, they first thought hit by a pitch. Replay review overturned it. Trevor Rosenthal gets Herrera to ground out. Strikes out Gomez, strikes out Parra. The Cardinals have even this series at a game apiece. 9-7 your final. St. Louis over Milwaukee. Send it to our Fox Sports Wisconsin studios. Marty Gelder standing by with Jerry Augustine.